Hi everyone, so welcome to today's video. Thanks so much for joining me. Today I decided to turn the camera on and just kind of film getting ready for the day because I wanted to use my Haus Labs eyeshadow palettes. I ordered these a few weeks ago on the Sephora website when they were on sale. I think they still may be on sale. They normally retail for close to $50, which I thought was a little bit steep for these eyeshadow palettes. And when I saw that they were on sale for about $24 and change, I decided to pick up both of the colors so that I can try the brand's first eyeshadow palettes because I don't think that they have any powder shadows. They have the squeeze tube creams that could be used for shadows, liners, lip products, blush, kind of like a multi-purpose type of thing that they have with those little squeeze tube cream style product, but not necessarily their powders. So I was already intrigued, but the price point really, if I'm being honest, held me back from purchasing because it is a little steep. So I thought, why don't I just use those eyeshadow palettes with you on camera today, bust out all of my Haus Labs products and sort of revisit the foundation, which I have this little small jar. This is part of the discovery set that I did a video on several months back. They did discovery sets where you could get a few shades within your color family to figure out what color was going to match. For me, it was really hard for me to get a match on myself online doing the quiz, looking at photos, swatches, because I actually ended up feeling like the cool tone was a good match. For me, cool tone, and I think for most people, we think of cool tones, we think of something with a more pink undertone, but this is actually a more golden yellow. So it's kind of opposite. Cool is golden, kind of yellow. The pink tone is going to be more warm. So it's kind of opposite. It makes it confusing and tricky. So the Discovery Kit is a great way to start if you're curious about the foundation. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I do want to revisit it with you today and see how I feel. Maybe my mind has changed because that does happen. I have the concealer that I bought when that launched, this setting powder, the blush and bronzer, which I already know I love these. So I thought, why don't we just use as much Haus Labs as possible, plug in a couple of other new things that I wanted to try, some old favorites, just kind of a mix of new and old existing favorites in my collection and just get ourselves ready. So if that sounds good, let's get our goodies out and start doing the makeup application. For primer today, I think I'm going to try this foundation with my Cali Ray So Blown Primer. I did recently buy a new one, a backup, because I am running kind of low. I do have to squeeze my tube quite a bit to get some product out. So I'm going to use my Sigma Multitasker F47 brush to blend this in. It's a really soft brush. And it's angled. Applies things really, really nicely. So the foundation is from Haus Labs, and the color that I'm going to use today is 050 Fair Cool. I'm going to just kind of take a little bit of that and just kind of get it onto my brush. Couple little drops. I probably will say that is maybe equivalent to half a pump to almost a full pump. And I'm going to use the same brush that I use for my primer. And I got this match through the Discovery Kit, which I mentioned at the beginning of the video. And I do feel like that's a great place to start with matching, unless you're okay with buying a few different shades and then sending the one that doesn't work out back. But I just feel like that's just a lot of work. And I would rather get a couple of shades in a small little sample like this. I think it was like 20 bucks. I think last time I used my beauty blender, if I remember correctly, to apply the foundation, or did I use a brush? I don't remember. It's been a couple of months. But this is looking better. I'm going to go in with my beauty blender and just kind of continue blending this in because this brush is leaving a few streaks on my chin. It's not looking really well blended as I would prefer. So I'm going to just use my trusty old beauty blender, the OG. And I'll put all my shades in the description box as well for what I'm using. Now, I will say the concealer, I've used this quite a few times and it's good. My shade that I have is a little too dark. I did not match myself very well. I bought this when it was like a limited release at Sephora and they sold out so fast. It was before the launch date. I want to say this came out maybe August, September last year, and I just snagged the one that was still in stock that I felt like I could pull off. And it's doable. I'm not going to lie. I can make this work. It's just a little dark, so I'm going to pull it down and just blend that into the foundation a little bit so it's a little bit more of a seamless blend. And then I'm going to set everything with the Bio Blurring Translucent Powder. I do like this, and I kind of try to wipe some of my products because you do see fingerprints on this product. packaging, but it's got a mesh liner. You can dip your brush or sponge in there or kind of tap it out however you want. But it's a good one. It's translucent, it sets, and it actually looks really pretty under the eye. So I do like this formula a lot. So I'm going to use this to set my concealer, set the T-zone, maybe leave the perimeter alone and see what happens as the day progresses and how it works with the rest of the products. But I'm just going to use this kind of in the T-zone and under the eyes. For bronzer, I'm going to go into the Velvet Bronzer. I wear the shade Light Level 2, and I love this. I've sung praises for this product a lot on my channel, and I'm starting to kind of wear down the H that's kind of embossed into the pan. It's such a nice formula. It's velvety, it's smooth, it blends in like a dream, and it never gives me any problems. It doesn't matter what foundation I have underneath. It just glides over so seamlessly. I love it. I can't say enough good things about the bronzer. For blush, I'm going to use the only one that I have from the Haus Labs brand. This is the Color Fuse blush in Pomelo Peach. I talked about this in my MVPs of 2023 video. I just wish I would have purchased these when they first came out. I waited a while. I don't personally need to order any more blush. I have a lot, but this is such a pretty true peach color. I'm using my BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy A507 brush. It's such a pretty peach. It's like a true classic peach. I'm going to use it even though I don't know if it's going to go with the eye look, but I wanted to use as many Haus Labs as possible. So we'll try to do a eye look with the eyeshadows that matches the blush or kind of goes well with it. But the formula is velvety, it's smooth, it's pigmented, but it looks just diffused, blurred on the skin, just the same as the bronzer. And I just can't get enough of it. I love it. So I do want to order some more, and maybe I will eventually get around to using some of the brighter pinks. They have one that's a little bit more purpley. Maybe they'll come out with new shades this year. I don't know, but that would be kind of fun. But look at that. Just the flush that this gives the skin. It's so pretty. So, so pretty. I'm back. Brows are done. So these are the palettes from Haus Labs. This is the Volume 001, the Super Neutrals. Looks like that. True to color as it's showing up on camera. Really nice. Some brown, some warm tones, really pretty sparkly shades. Next up is Volume 002, the Super Neutrals. And this one has some browns, some more purpley shades, a nice pretty pinky kind of rose gold, a nice pretty green. You know what? I think we probably should maybe kind of work with colors from both palettes and just kind of knock it out like that instead of trying to do a video just with one, then doing another video with the other. I'm going to start working on the crease colors. I'm going to use the BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy A503 brush, and I'm going to go into the Volume 001, and I'm going to use this light shade here that has like a touch of tan to it. It's a little bit on the lighter side, and I think this might be a good transition type shade. So I'm going to pick some of that up. So that looks like it's going on quite nicely and pretty easy at the moment to apply and blend. So that's a good thing. Then I'm going to hop over to the 002 palette, and I'm going to use this shade here. Same brush. This is like a plummy type of shade. I'm going to take a little bit because I'm not sure how pigmented this is going to be. And I'm going to start deepening up my crease just a little bit more. So this color is taking a little bit of building. It could just be my brush and the fact that I am taking my time, but it does deposit just like a sheer wash. So it's not as pigmented off the bat as I expected. I'm going to take those same shades and go to the lower lash line. I'm going to switch to a BK Beauty 204 brush for this step, and I'm going to start with the light tan. And as I put my brush into these pans, there isn't a lot of kick up. It's kind of reminding me a little bit of their blush and bronzer formula. It might even be very similar actually. So I want to add a little bit more color and kind of play around with some of the darker shades on the lower lash line. So I'm going to go into the 001 and I'm going to go into the dark brown. Same brush that I was using earlier, the BK Beauty 204. And I'm going to pick up that brown shade and see if I can add a little bit more depth to this lower under eye area and see what happens. Okay, so there's more pigment in the darker shades. It's a little softer with the first two shades. This is definitely an improvement here. So I'm gonna add a little bit and then kind of blend it together. to do is take that same 503 crease brush with the same dark brown and start kind of building up this crease, because the other two shades were a little sheer, so it's that dark brown from the 001 palette. So let me show you some swatches on my finger from the shimmers. This is the 002 palette. So it's the green, the magenta, purpley pink, and then that rose gold, which is absolutely stunning. And these feel like butter. So I do think that the metallics seem to be a lot better than the mattes, at least in this 002 palette. So it would be the olive bio glitter, the fuchsia chrome, and the dusty rose chrome. That is stunning. And I wish that I would have used these when I first got them, because I think I want to use that rose gold today. So here's the three swatches of this other palette. So you have the pink gold chrome, the golden amber, and then the auburn. So these two, the auburn and the gold, they're really intense, but this one here, the auburn, has more of a shifty kind of look to it, and you can kind of tell a little bit in the pan. And then so does this one, the pink gold chrome, that looks pink, kind of light, and then a little golden. I do think that they are really soft and quite intense and bold. So I will give it that. It's getting some redeeming points for me with these kind of sparkly metallic shades. But I got to go into that dusty rose chrome. I saw that when I first opened the palette, and I thought that's the first shade that I want to use. So I'm going to do it. Use my finger, which I think is the best way to apply these types of shades. And I'm going to start by patting it all over, from inner corner to about almost all the way. I don't want to cover up the dark shades that I have in my crease. So I'm going to use my finger to easily apply this. And oh, wow. Wowee. That's intense. It's very reflective, very metallic. It's like liquid metal on the eyes. Oh my word. Wowza. Can you see that? I hope that my camera is picking up how that just, as you move your face and you turn, the light catches it. It's just stunning. Okay, so this already is looking so much better now that I've done the lid shade, and it just completely transformed what I had already done previously. I'm going to try to deepen up just a little bit on the outer part of the eye, and I'm going to switch to my Sephora Pro Shadow 15 brush with the same dark brown that I used earlier to see if I can kind of build that up, switching to a different style of brush, and just kind of pressing and just kind of patting that shade. And it's interesting, when I put this color that slightly overlaps that rose gold, it ends up looking a little bit more purple, right? Do you see that? And it's still with this brush that's a little bit more densely packed and different texture of bristles, I do feel like it's still quite light. So the dark shadows are not quite as intense and hard to work with as they seem. I'm going to add a little bit more of that transition-y type of shade that I used to carve out the crease initially, to go around and just add a little bit more color. And as I do that, I'm picking up a little bit more warmth that's coming out from that color. Maybe it's just the undertone of it, and it's just giving me a little bit more color. And I feel like by doing this and kind of creating a border around everything, I feel like I'm kind of pulling in a little bit of the kind of peachiness. I told you at the beginning when I was doing my blush, it's probably not going to match the eyes because that's the only Haus Labs blush I had. So I kind of wanted to use it and incorporate it into today's look. So if it doesn't match, we're going to just kind of skip right over that. And we'll try better next time to match it. For eyeliner, I'm going to try using my NYX Epic Ink Liner. I love this liquid liner in the brown shade. I'm going to see how this looks over something so foiled and reflective on the eye. Hopefully it doesn't have an issue with picking up the shadow and kind of looking a little bit more dull. That tends to happen sometimes. So I'm going to just take a little bit of this really close to the root of my lash. And mine is starting to dry out, but I do have a backup ready to go. This is such a good liner. I'm going to finish the eyes with my L'Oreal Telescopic Lift Mascara. I'm going to do 2 coats of that. I wonder if we'll see maybe a mascara from Haus Labs this year, because they don't have one currently in their line that I'm aware of. I also am curious about the eyeliners. So have any of you used their pencil liners? If you have, please share with me your thoughts, because I'm kind of curious. I almost ordered some of those. And then the cream shadows, or the multi-purpose cream products that come in like a little squeeze tube. I wonder if those are any good. They seem good. I feel like I want to explore more from the brand. So if you have any favorites from Haus Labs, share that in the comment section with me as well. So now that the eyes are complete, I get to do the last few finishing touches. So we have to do a lip combo today and also highlighter. I did order 2 of their highlighters, and I bought the Peach Quartz and the Sunstone shade. I have not used these, so I am kind of curious because I do feel like they're going to be pretty intense. So here is Sunstone, which is more golden. And then this is the shade called Peach Quartz. So those are the 2 colors. I'm going to go with a fluffy crease brush. This is actually a ColourPop F33 brush, and I'm going to use it to highlight. Let's start with the Sunstone. Why not? Okay. I'm adding a little bit. I'm treading very softly. I'm just barely dabbing my brush because this could go wrong very quickly, because it is a golden highlight, which I don't tend to go for a lot of heavily pigmented gold highlighters because they sit onto the skin instead of like melting in, which I prefer it to just be like beaming from within kind of look, not just a stripe of product. But this is looking actually kind of nice, if I say so myself. Oh yeah. Let's move into the lip combination for today. I'm going to take Pink Sand lip liner from Lawless. I absolutely adore this lip liner. I don't have a lip liner from Haus Labs, so I'm going to use this one. Oh, she's so good. So good. I do have the Haus Labs lip oil that came out. It's a trio that came out for the holidays last year. And I do think that all of these shades, if I'm not mistaken, can all be purchased individually in full size. So the set was 3 for the holidays in a like little bundle kit. So I have a few of the Tarte Juicy Lip Plumps. I bought 2 new ones. The shade Holly, which is like a light everyday type of pink. I will use that in another video because I'm kind of curious about the shimmer version. They came out with a few shimmer colors very recently, and I ordered only one. I was trying to behave. I ordered Rosy Mauve Shimmer Glass. So it looks a little deep and intense. I don't know if this is going to be too dark, if it's going to go or not. It might pull some more pinky tones from the eyeshadow, so it might be fine with the lip liner as well. I don't know. Click it and get it started because a new product, fresh out of the tube, and that's what it looks like, and we are going to just go for it. It has that kind of subtle kind of SPF scent with a little bit of coconut. That's just what it smells like to me, but it goes on like the other formulas. That is really pretty, you guys. And it feels exactly like the classic Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump. So if you have those, this is just going to add a little bit of sheen and shimmer to the lips. But honestly, I do see it up close, but it's not as reflective and glittery as I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be more reflective. Maybe it's just the shade, but I do feel like it adds more of that kind of juicy kind of fullness to the lips in a very pretty kind of flattering way. So yes, this is a win for me. I absolutely love the way this looks, and the color actually is a little bit lighter than what it looks like. I thought it was going to be too dark, but on its perfection with the Lawless lip liner, I feel like I found my new favorite combo. Do I even need to use these? I've used these before, maybe not. These are actually pretty good. These lip oils from Haus Labs. I do feel like they are glossy and they feel really nice on the lips. But I think I'm just going to leave it as is here, you guys, because this is just too pretty. Too pretty to add anything else to it, and I love it. And this is the completed look. I really love how everything turned out. The foundation was another surprise. I didn't think I was going to like it as much today as I am. The first time I used it was kind of like so-so. It was nice, it was pretty, but I think the primer really does make a difference. So hopefully this wears well throughout the day with the Cali Ray primer. Blush, bronzer, highlighter, great. I knew I liked the blush and bronzer formula. I was not surprised there. I love the Haus Labs bronzer and blush. The highlighter is really pretty and just kind of soft, and I think it's the brush that I used that applied it very gently onto the skin. So I do like that. The lip combo is perfection. I have no complaints. Like, I cannot wait to wear this lip combo again, and I'm gonna do it tomorrow because this is just too pretty. It's just the perfect pink, the perfect amount of subtle kind of sheen and shimmer to the lips where it doesn't look too frosty and too 80s looking. It's very sophisticated sheen to the lips. Maybe it's just this shade. I don't know if the other colors in this line have more shimmer to it. I'm kind of intrigued and I want to try more, so maybe I'll buy some more sometime in the future, but love this. The eyeshadow, I do love the foil shadows in the palette. I do think the mattes need a little bit of work and a little bit of building. Again, personal preference there, whether you find that to be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't mind it. I do like the way the look came out. So at the end of the day, I do like how this looks on the eyes, and I am excited to try the other shades. And I don't know, maybe I'll do another look on camera with you guys. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you want to see more of these? Did you buy these palettes? What do you love from Haus Labs? Let's chat about it. What else do I need to try from this brand? I love hearing from you guys. So give me your recommendations. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I appreciate you so much for your love and support. It means more than you'll ever know. The description box will have everything listed and linked for you in case you wanted to shop the links. Those are affiliates, so I want to be very open and honest with you. They are affiliate links in the description box. So if you use them, thank you so much for supporting my channel, for supporting me. It means so much. Have a great day, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Bye-bye.